Dear parishioners, I think it's time. I wanted to do a few of these videos and talk about kind of like an update on where we are, an update where things stand as far as we know at the moment. Unfortunately, most of this update is going to be about talking about more about what I don't know than what I do know. Today, this particular video, I want to speak about basically sacramentally where we are. In the next one, we'll talk about some of the logistics and the money and the finances and everything else and what we're doing. But today, I just wanted to say some of the things that have passed, some of the things that have had to been postponed, and some of the things that we know will happen, but happen in the future. And again, the bottom line is, at this moment, I really can't tell you when, because I really don't know when. You know, we began, when this whole thing started, people came to me and talked to me about, well, can we get a Facebook page up? And they were a little afraid because they know my usual feeling on Facebook. I was never a fan, but at that point, when they came to me, my zeal to have something to do with, not only for you, but with you, outweighed what my feelings were for Facebook at the time. And so we jumped in, and we jumped in with both feet. A little over a month, we wind up with, 1,100 and something followers. And we jumped in because I wanted to be worshiping together with you. Obviously we were not ready. We knew we were not ready in the first couple, but I said we're going to keep forging ahead, because if we hadn't, if I had waited till it was right, there wouldn't have been a Palm Sunday Mass, there wouldn't have been an Easter Mass, and there was no way I was not going to let that happen. We had to get something out, and we did. And I am thankful to the people who, first off, even came to me to say, let's do this, and secondly, the people who have been involved in making it happen. So we've done what we can with the masses, but there are a lot of things that we were not able to do, and I want you to know what they are, and I want the people who were affected to know that they are not forgotten, that this will be happening. You know, the first group that comes to mind is the RCIA group. You know, people who were taking the classes to become fully initiated Catholics. As adults, this group, I am so sorry, every year we make such a big thing. Brian and Peter to be baptized and to be recognized and brought into the church at the Easter Vigil, and we couldn't do that this year. You're not forgotten. Peter, you're going to be received into the church. Brian, you're going to receive all your sacraments. We're going to do that. We're going to do it. The original hope was at Pentecost, when I had the other members, Victoria, Shannon, Megan, Mia, Emily, and Hector, and Joe. We're going to be confirmed at Pentecost. Well, Pentecost is only a few weeks away, and I really don't foresee that happening either. So the whole group, we're going to be doing your sacraments. We'll be doing the whole group at some point. But the bottom line is, at the moment, I can't tell you when, because, again, I don't know. The second group that we want to speak to is those who have loved ones who have passed during this crisis. What a difficult thing. And our hearts are with you. You know, I did a wake service on here a couple of weeks ago, and I know that was, for everybody who had passed, I know that's not what it's intended to be. I know that was not really a proper wake service, but I wanted to hear the prayers. I wanted you to feel the concern that we have for you. But I know also, really, how many are now, we have to wait for the expression of love that only a Mass can offer. So I know all of these postponed funerals will come rolling in, and we look forward to being there with you so that we can solidify that bond. We look forward to being with you at that time when you get to offer God to God for the sake of your loved one. We're sorry for what you're going through, and you are not forgotten. The next group that I want to look at is the weddings. Wow. This has been, I can only imagine I know from some of the couples that I have talked to, some of the couples, it's difficult enough to try to schedule the intake before they even get started right now. But for all of those who had weddings planned in the last month, and for those who are coming up, we're up to about 15 or 20 so far whose weddings have been postponed and pushed into the future. We don't know when. Their venues don't know when they'll be able to host a reception. We know that there can only be one wedding in the church. So we can't have you come in or sneak into the rectory while I do a marriage and then have like a show marriage later. It's a sacrament, it means something. They have been postponed. And I'm sorry, and you too have not been forgotten. This is going to be in the mix when we try to get things together again. The baptisms, the infant baptisms that we have to be at this stage of the game. I think we're between 75 and 100 babies who have been scheduled to be baptized over the last month and change, and we'll be over 100 by the time that we're allowed to do this. And then, depending on whenever the church gets reopened, how many people we're allowed to have in the church at one time. I can't even say we'll change it from 8 to 10 babies per session to 50 babies a session and clear it out. We may still have, I don't know how long it's going to take to whittle that down to get as many baptized as we can. We will do what we can. We want them baptized. You have not been forgotten. And then, obviously, for all of the sacraments of all of our religious ed kids, unfortunately, we've already passed the time that we would have had the first reconciliation. And what a beautiful sacrament that is, how important that is, and how big that is. And we were not able to do that as a group. Following that would have been the first communions. Again, a wonderful thing that we can do that we would be doing in the church that would have already taken place. That hasn't. How painful that is. I know. And you have not been forgotten. And certainly, coming up was going to be the confirmations. And we were still waiting, before this began, we were waiting for a date from the bishop. Well, I'll tell you this much. Just about every parish in the diocese right now is going to be, when this clears, is going to be looking for dates with the bishop, because anybody who would have had them in the spring as well as all of the fall, everything is off the table. And the bishops have already called the pastors and said, anything that was scheduled counted as off. It's not scheduled anymore. We had not been scheduled. One of the possibilities, even though we did not have a date yet, I have requested the bishop, I'm requesting permission that when the time comes, that will he delegate me to be allowed to do that in this church. Because when they do, with the number of auxiliaries and the bishop that we have, it'll be next year before it's cleared. So we will see. Unfortunately, at this moment, I don't know. I don't know how they could have scheduled. I don't know yet how we will be able to schedule. The real bottom line to all of this is I don't know, but I want you to know that you have not been forgotten. This is all in the mix. Nobody is being left by the wayside. It's just that we can't do it yet. I'm not going to ask bishops to come, and what would have taken 2 sessions for confirmation, if they turn around and limit the number of people we have in the church, it's going to wind up being 6 sessions. We will do, if it winds up becoming more sessions, I'm asking for the permission to do them so that we can schedule them in a way that's best for our parish, for our people. It is a missed thing not to have a bishop do it. The bishop is that's a real thing for us. It's a real title. Bishops are the apostles. But in order that it not get transferred into a whole missed year worth of confirmations, when we can schedule it, we will. So, with my petition for the baptisms, I said at the beginning how difficult it is, and I hope that you understand. In this current situation that all my responses are the same. I don't know, because I don't. I do. The point of this message today was simply to let you know that it's still going to happen. It's still, we haven't forgotten anybody. If you think you've been forgotten, call the rectory. Somebody will get a message to me. But the truth is, I don't know when it's going to open up. And I don't even know at this stage what a reopening is going to look like in this parish. Are they going to come in and say you can only have 1/4 of the people that used to be in here, and take out every other row? We don't know yet. I've listed all of the sacraments and the things that how we're going to schedule on the calendar is going to be an incredible bear. You know, we'll have the priests here. We're fortunate to have as many priests, but it isn't going to be so much a matter of how much the priests can do as just how many slots there are. I can only slot so many extra baptism sessions if I'm going to wind up having extra funeral sessions. And I can only slot so many funeral and baptism sessions when I have the brides and the grooms looking for the wakes. I can only do both of them, as I'm still concerned about what am I doing with first confessions, first communions. It's all going to get done. It's all going to get done. Nobody's getting left behind. The problem is, I don't know when yet, and I know that you understand that. I'm asking that together we get through this, that we just have some patience. If there are any dates not being given out, it isn't because we're trying to hold anything back, obviously. It's because I really, really, really don't know. So as we try to get those slots together, as we try to figure out how this schedule is going to look, as we try to figure out, is it going to be, if they have the people at masses, am I going to wind up every week, like in the old days, having 2 masses at once? Is every Sunday going to look like Christmas and Easter? We have them in the gym at the same time. When we get to that point, we'll figure it out, and we will figure it out. You know what I'm going to say. We will figure it out together. We'll get through this. Again, I don't know when, but we will get through this. And we will get through this together, because we are together with each other and with Him. May Almighty God bless us. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. God bless St. Ray.